The 2015 general elections are slated for next month, and the first set of elections are just about 21 days away. Meanwhile, several Nigerians have joined in the debate on the issue of the possible postponement of the general elections. You can also be part of the conversation by tweeting your views at these handles. At CTV Politics is the official handle of the program, and also at my own personal handle at Seun Joaquin. But now, to add some more perspectives to the matter, I have joining me in the studio a legal practitioner, Mr. Festus Keyamo. Thank you for joining us on Politics today.
Thank you, Seun, for inviting me.
When you heard about the call by the National Security Advisor, retired Colonel Dasuki, that the election should be postponed, what was the thought that came to your heart? What's your take on it?
I mean, straight away, I said the ruling party is pushing the panic button. That is the clear situation. I think we're all deceiving ourselves by dancing around the issue. The clear picture that is emerging is that the ruling party is afraid of defeat on February 14. And then the government uses its national security advisor to go and fly the kite, first of all, in London, because they need to get the support of the international community for them to shift that date. Now, nobody can tell me, really, Seun, that a national security advisor will travel out of the country, make such a profound suggestion that can affect adversely the peace and tranquility of even the electoral process without getting the approval of the president to do that. If you want to tell me that he did not get the approval of President Jonathan to make that suggestion in London, then tell that to the Marines or the Birds. Don't tell it to me. It is only a complete fool that will believe that he went there on his own accord, a national security advisor, to say such a thing without the approval of the president. So let us begin from the premise that it is Jonathan that ordered that kind of suggestion to win the support of the international community. Now, the danger there is not that because INEC has no powers to postpone election dates. They do have powers to do so. They did that in 2011. That's on the legal part of it. 2011, remember, on the day of voting, they suspended voting because there were hitches and they postponed for 1 week. So under the law, they have a minimum period within which they should conduct elections before the dates. But we are not talking about legalism and all of that now. We are talking about the sanctity of the process. A date that has been set, the momentum is behind a candidate, and then all of a sudden, you say you want to postpone elections for some reasons. Any scintilla of doubt that the process will be free from manipulation, any iota of doubt will set this country ablaze. So we must be very careful what we do at this time.
All right. The national just to come in and clear the issues, that the National Security Advisor is at that moment on an advisory point, and he's saying that his statements are not political. He's making an advisory and he says that those are not the opinions of the presidency. It's an opinion based on advisory.
He's just flying a kite. You know, such serious issues, you don't come and stamp your feet on the ground. You first of all fly a kite and see public reaction and see the reaction of the international community. That is all what he went to do. He went to fly a kite. And INEC is on a very sensitive podium. They must be very careful at this point, because you can't let the National Security Advisor, fly such a kite today, and then tomorrow INEC concedes. That's why that statement by Jega is very heartwarming, to show that there is no synergy between INEC and the ruling party. They must not give Nigerians any idea at all that they are working hand in hand with the ruling party, that the ruling party, through its National Security Advisor, flies this kite today, tomorrow INEC agrees. Everybody will come to the conclusion that they are working. INEC has said so.
INEC said that they are ready, they are planning, they've been informing Nigerians to come and collect their PVCs.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said INEC is very careful. That's why I said the statement by Jega is very heartwarming, that they are not going along with that suggestion, and that they're in fact ready for February 14 polls. And the reasons preferred by the National Security Advisor, perhaps we should address them. We should not just dismiss them.
Let me quickly point out that, just a moment, yes. Mr. Keyamo. Is it not just true that we are in a very dire situation? We are facing a very critical security challenge in the country. And the fact that the National Security Advisor, in his capacity, in his office, comes forward to say, let us do this so that we may not have some issues or problems in an election that has been said to be a very critical one for this country.
No, see, listen, the first reason is that all the cards have not been distributed. Now, Jega said, look, even from the ones that are available, people have not come out to collect the cards that are available, all the cards. So are you going to force those people to come and collect their cards? Because we have two stages of this, problem. The first is that certain cards are available, distributed, but all have not been collected. Now, that really cannot be the fault of the commission because the cards are available. People have been, local leaders and political leaders have been telling their people to go and collect. These cards are available to collect. They have not gone to collect because of perhaps apathy in certain quarters and movement of people from one jurisdiction to the other, from the last registration until now. Now, the second one is that the people that did continuous voters registration, of course, their cards could not be ready because they just came out to register, those who are above 18, who just, clocked 18 and all of that. Now, those ones, they said they quickly ordered the production of those ones. Those ones are arriving on or before the end of January. Now, we have 2 weeks from the end of January to the elections. 1 week is enough to distribute the cards throughout the country, and up to 13. So long as everybody is aware that the cards are available to go and collect. Now, if they don't go and collect the cards, that cannot be the fault of the commission. All the commission has assured is that the cards will be ready before the end of January. Of course, the people who they contracted the thing to would have told them that. So there is absolutely no reason at all, absolutely no reason to suggest a postponement of the polls because everybody will see that perhaps it's a design to manipulate the process in favor of a particular candidate, and that will not be right at all.
When you say it's a design to manipulate, if it was taken backwards, one would say, okay, it's the plan to rush it, and that's why it's been taken back. But this is an avenue to take it further up, and thank God you are a legal practitioner. The law provides 90 days before 90 days, the election conducted 90 days before the end of the tenure. Now, they're saying, let's take it further up so that INEC can put it out in order. Don't you just think that is rational?
Let me tell you my take on this. The ruling party needs enough time to do damage.
What kind of damage?
The damage to the person of the opposition candidate. That's all they need. That's all I'm telling you.
Why do you think they want to damage the person of the opposition candidate?
Because the problem they are having from day one of this campaign is that they knew from day one that they are facing the problem of the credibility of Major General Buhari. They knew from day one. So you can see that they have spent 95% of their efforts in this campaign trying to demonize, first of all, the person of Buhari. This is the strategy of this campaign. Because, of course, they know that in terms of the perception, the will to fight corruption, the perception of integrity, there is no comparison between the president and General Buhari. There's no comparison because of perception. The perception. So you can see that the first thing they did is to say, look, let us demonize this man. Take him out and demonize him. So all of this they have been throwing at Buhari. You can see all of these controversies around him. They have just been, it's a storm in a teacup. Storm in a teacup to demonize him. That is all. To reduce his moral fiber before the eyes of the public. So they need enough time. They need enough time to do that. I want to be as frank and honest as possible. And they think that the momentum is behind him, and they need more time to re-strategize on how to manipulate the process and to damage his credibility.
When you talk about integrity and all of that, a lot of people, I mean, you think some of the issues that the PDP has brought to the fore, like the issue of the certificate of the opposition party.
No, this is Tommy the teacup.
You think those are not germane? Those are
complete rubbish.
You think those are not critical?
Let me tell you why.
The law permits that there is a certain minimum standard, a requirement, prerequisite for a candidate before he can enter for a race.
No, we have even gone beyond that. I think they do agree now that he went up to secondary school. And the law says, look, you only need to be educated up to primary 6. You don't need to pass, take note. The Supreme Court has settled it in 2 cases. You don't even need to pass. You only need to be educated up to that level. Now, you have a situation where the person has gone beyond the primary school, he has gone to secondary school, he's gone to courses abroad. And if you listen to Professor Sage a few days back, those courses abroad, they qualify as even master's degree. So you have a candidate who is overqualified for the job. Now, the moment he showed the certificates, they said, no, he's forged.
But that is the same certificates that the PDP is saying they're probably going to be, the candidate might be sued for perjury because of the state of the certificate.
Now listen very carefully.
Have you seen the certificate, the copy of the certificate?
Yes, of course, as published. Let me explain to you. It's very simple. What smashes this whole argument to pieces is that the army itself agreed that in 1961, they cited the original and entered this cause in their army records. And the army spokesman said, look, these scores, the candidate passed the relevant subjects. He had credits in relevant 5 subjects. Do you understand me? That is as way back as 1961. The army cited the original and entered it in their records. But they did not keep that original in their file. Now, what the army saw in 1961 tallies with what the school released last week. Are you getting my argument? What they entered in 1961 in their record tallies with what the school now released last week. So where is the forgery there?
All right. Just a moment.
It is a storm in a teacup, and it's something I will not even bother myself on this program on. There are more critical issues to address on this program, and the more critical issues is the failure, the complete failure in the last 5 years or so, going to 6 years, that the ruling party, the PDP, has failed to address the critical issues of insurgency, corruption, and the collapsing economy.